If you want to start seeds indoors but don't know where to begin, or you've tried before and it didn't work out, this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through the exact simple setup I use every year in my small garden. You can just copy it and go from seed packets on the counter to real healthy seedlings in just a few weeks. Before we plant anything, we need to choose the right location, because if the spot isn't right, everything else becomes harder than it needs to be. I've tried starting seedlings in a windowsill before and it didn't work. The seedlings were tall, thin, and weak, and I lost a bunch of them just because the light wasn't strong enough. Even a bright window usually doesn't give seedlings what they need in late winter and early spring, and that's why I don't rely on windows anymore. So when you're choosing a location, the first thing you're going to need is access to power, because you're going to be plugging in grow lights and heat mats, so make sure you're near an outlet. I like using a simple power strip so that everything stays organized and easy to manage. Next, think about temperature. Most seedlings grow well in normal indoor temperatures around 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's what most of us keep our homes at anyway, so you do not need a special heated room. The third thing people often overlook is airflow. Seedlings need gentle air movement. So if you're going to be starting seeds in a closet, which I have done before, there's not going to be much air movement, if any, in there. So a small, a little small oscillating fan turned on low is going to be enough to get air moving. And that light, steady breeze is going to help prevent fungal issues like moldy soil, and it helps keep humidity from building up too much. So once you've chosen your location, we need something sturdy to hold everything. The trays filled with moist soil get heavy quickly, so your shelving needs to be strong and adjustable. You need enough vertical space to hang your grow lights so that you can raise them as the plants grow. Seedlings do best when lights are about 2 to 6 inches above the leaves, so being able to adjust that height definitely matters. I've used this simple wire shelving for 13 years now, over and over, and it's sturdy, affordable, and it's very easy to work with. I attach my lights with this little pulley system that I made so that I can raise them up quickly as the plants grow. You don't want to be untying cords or wrestling with zip ties every few days. I've done that too, and that becomes a big pain very fast. So the goal is simple and functional, not complicated. So now that your structure is in place, let's talk about germination, because this is where a lot of beginners get discouraged. Even if your house feels warm, the soil in your pots is usually cooler than the air around it. Most seeds germinate between 65 and 85 degrees, but warm season crops like tomatoes prefer soil closer to 80 or even 85 degrees. Peppers like it even warmer. Heat mats gently warm the soil from the bottom and can make a big difference, especially for tomatoes and peppers. I skipped them my first few years of seed starting, and my germination was uneven and slow. Once seedlings sprout though, make sure to turn the heat mats off, because they're helpful for sprouting, but after that, too much bottom heat can dry the soil out and cause weak growth. Here's a simple tip that saves time. If you want faster germination, place your trays filled with moist soil on the heat mats a day or two before planting your seeds, and that way the soil is already warm when the seeds go in. If you want more than a tray of seedlings and you want a clear plan for a small garden that actually supports your life, that's exactly what I teach inside my full course, The Intentional Garden System. It walks you through the full seasonal plan I use so that you're not guessing, and I've linked that below for you. Now let's talk about soil for your seedlings. When you're at the store shopping for a mix to get your seeds started, you're going to see both seed starting mix and potting soil. I use a high quality potting soil that's light, well draining, and fine in texture, and that's Happy Frog potting soil. I've been using it year after year. Some potting soil is too chunky, like it has bigger pieces of bark, and you want one that feels soft and airy without those big chunks in it. A good potting mix is going to contain perlite and organic matter, and Happy Frog potting mix has enough nutrients in it to really get the seedlings going for the first few weeks without needing extra fertilizer. I've been using this for years, and you're usually going to be able to find it at your local garden center. Once you have your soil, let's talk about containers. There are a lot of seed starting methods out there. I have tried several of them over the years, and what I've found is that simple, sturdy, reusable trays and 3-inch pots are the least stressful option. They give the seedlings enough room to grow without needing to be transplanted into bigger pots too early, And that brings us to starting at the right time, because that is one of the biggest keys to avoiding extra steps of potting up into bigger containers. So if you start too early, your seedlings are going to outgrow their containers before it's warm enough to move them outside into your garden. When I start on time and use these 3-inch pots, most years I don't need the extra step of transplanting my seedlings into bigger containers before I can plant them outside. When it's time to plant these, I fill each pot with soil and gently press it down so that there are no large air pockets. The soil should feel like a wrung out sponge, so moist but not too soggy. All I do is I make a small hole with my finger, usually about a 1/4 inch deep for most seeds and shallower for smaller tiny seeds like lettuce. Then I drop the seeds in and lightly cover them, and that's it. Nobody is going to get 100% germination, even in perfect conditions. So if you have enough seeds, plant 2 or 3 per hole per pot. That increases your chances of getting a strong seedling in each pot. I also plant a couple of extra pots of each variety just as insurance. So once planted, your main job is keeping the soil evenly moist. You're not going to always need humidity domes that help keep soil from drying out, but if you do use them, make sure to remove them as soon as you see sprouts, because leaving them on too long can create too much humidity and lead to mold. After germination, light also becomes the most important factor. Keep your grow lights close, about 2 to 6 inches above the seedlings. Close light prevents stretching and helps seedlings grow sturdy and compact. Full spectrum LED grow lights work best because they mimic natural sunlight and they support healthy growth. I keep mine on for 16 to 18 hours a day. I used to use shop lights, but I've replaced them with these much less clunky Vigo garden lights. These are so much easier to use. Since you planted more than one seed in each pot, you'll need to thin the pots that have more than one seedling growing. Once the seedlings develop their first true leaves, which are these bigger leaves that grow right above the little seedling leaves, choose the strongest one and keep that one and cut the other ones at the soil line using small scissors. Don't yank them out because that can disturb the roots of the one that you're keeping. This feels wasteful, and actually thinning is the most difficult part of seed starting for me, but it gives the remaining seedling the space it needs to grow strong. After 2 to 3 weeks, seedlings might start to use up the nutrients in the soil, so at that point you can begin feeding them gently. I use fish emulsion diluted to half strength once or twice a week. All you do is put it in a watering can and water it right in. If weather delays planting outside and your seedlings do begin to outgrow their pots, that's when potting up into bigger containers becomes necessary. If roots are filling the container or the soil is drying out really quickly, move them into a slightly larger pot with fresh soil and water them in well. And then that will carry them until they're ready to be planted outside. The final step before planting outside is hardening off. Indoor seedlings have had steady temperatures, controlled light, and no wind. Outside conditions are a lot different. So over 1 to 2 weeks, gradually expose them to outdoor light and air. Start with a couple hours in gentle morning light or dappled shade and increase the time each day. Overcast days are ideal for starting the hardening off process. Seed starting does not have to be complicated. All it is light, warmth, moisture, airflow, the right containers, and starting at the right time so that your plants don't outgrow your space. If this helped you feel more confident about starting seeds indoors, let me know what you're growing this year in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.